Well, Paul, it's the first time you've made it up to GRASSMEN HQ pretty much since the onset of COVID due to restrictions. But boy, you came back with a bang.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, Gareth. It's great to be back up, and thanks for this.
Well, what exactly are you doing here?
Well, I guess we have a very important machine, not just for us, but for a lot of people. You know, the Jumbo is a very famous name within wagons, and this is the all-new Jumbo. I mean, it's a long time in development, I guess, because the existing Jumbo was such a good machine, and to make that step to be that much better was a bit of a process.
It does look different now. It's not common with what I would consider too many, apart from the colour, too many things that are identical to, you know, the outgoing Jumbo. So you may talk us around some of the key differences.
Yeah, and you're right, it doesn't. Everything is new. I think maybe just the drawbar in itself is the only thing that is shared with the outgoing machine. So when you start at the start, we have a whole new pickup, 2.3 meters wide. We have the hydraulic folding wheels. It's a 7-time bar pickup, and what's really nice about this one, it's hydraulically driven.
Okay.
So what that gives a number of benefits. First, it gives more movement in suspension because you're not restricted by chain. And second of all, it also allows speed adaptation. So the faster your machine is traveling, the faster the pickup will go. And you will say, why is that important? Well, for a couple of very important reasons. Okay, wear and tear, but the main reason is how the grass is entering the rotor. If you are spinning your pickup excessively, your grass has a tendency to enter the rotor straight, so it can really affect your chop quality.
Behind the pickup, it's not the same either.
No, and that's really nice too. So it's a more simple system. It's not often we get to say that about a machine that's new to the market. But we've only one gearbox, so what that leaves is a straight drive shaft as usual from the tractor to it's not a gearbox, it's just an oiler roller, and from that roller it's a belt driven system from the side out to here. So what the belt allows, like the harvester, it takes the heavy shots and inputs from loading. It also allows you to release tension if you do get stuck with a blockage. You can reapply the tension via the roller.
And up front's very different.
Yeah.
I mean, that is the first Pottinger wagon I have seen that type of a system with a, I don't know what the terminology is, but the way you can move it and adjust how you load into the wagon.
We call it the front board, and this is the intelligent version of the front board. And like really, it's doing two major things. It's utilizing this space, as you can see, right to the back window of the tractor that's normally vacant, which is adding up to 4.3 cubic meters that you weren't able to fill before. But secondary to that, it's really controlling how you fill the back of the wagon. Our front board is split in two, it's not one piece, and you can control the angle of the two pieces. So if you want more compression, if you have big horsepower and you want to utilize that power, you can really compress the grass with this front board. So it's really affecting how you're loading the wagon as well. On top of that, we've really optimized the automatic loading. So now there are 3 sensors there involved. We're measuring the load on the tractor here via a torque sensor on the drive. We have another pressure sensor on the red part of that front board that's measuring force against it. And then we have the top flap that gets a signal. And you can use a combination of all 3 of those to suit auto loading, and you can preset them.
Now, to put this into layman's terms for guys running Pottinger wagons, are you basically telling me you can now get it to fill a good load in automatic by itself?
Absolutely.
Without manually having to do that?
Absolutely, and all day long. Because you have better inputs for the signal for moving the floor. Like the tractor input, you can say even for zero grazing, if you don't want to damage crop and things like that, you can have it set really nice to the point that it's constantly adjusting when the power of the tractor has reached a set point. So yeah, absolutely, in layman's terms, it takes a little getting used to it, but then you've presets that you know, right, today it's a wetter grass stack. I have this preset, or now I'm doing zero grazing, or or haylage, you can save your settings. But yeah, it's much easier auto loading now.
I mean, moving on down, you know, you're looking in around the chassis there, and Gary was looking in earlier on, and I heard him shouting out, going, "Oh, this yoke's got hydraulic suspension in here." Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, it's an option on this size of wagon, and I think with such a tractor like this, or when you have big horsepower, it's a good option because you're putting such a load on. We have also a parabolic spring with torsion bar option for, yeah, it's maybe a cost saving, but I think once you get into this size and when you fill it, you really need the hydraulic suspension, which is developed in-house by ourselves. So it's not just a bolt-on system, it's fully developed in-house. This one then has the passive steering, but it's with the force steering cylinder. So if you want to go the next step in the future, it's very easy to make this tractor force steering.
Looking at your tyre choice, 710s are kind of what people are trying to get to today. But this has went a step above that again, because they're 800s.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's the same thing. You put this tractor in front of this wagon, you're going to be carrying close to 20 ton of grass, depending on the day. So you need a good tyre, and this is only halfway there. We have a 30.5 inch rim as well, so that's a step higher again as an 800, and also in a Tridem. So, and the Tridem is nice. It's a force steering on the Tridem, but you can electronically take control of it in the cab. So if you feel like you need to crab away from a wall or a pier, you can override the force steering on the bigger wagon. But tyres are a big talking point now when it comes to wagons,
compaction.
for sure.
Do we need a 310R on it though? Like that's my question to you. I mean, is that not a bit drastic, or?
Do we need it? No. But I see more and more going around, and there's more horsepower in every yard. And I know it's maybe not what's on the side of the tractor is really in the engine, but there is a lot of PTO power around, and I think we needed to build a machine to utilize that power. So while you don't need it, the more power you have, we can use it. We can create more compression that you can fill the load. If you've less power, we just ease off in the compression, and you'll visually still get a great load in this wagon. And I think, as you've seen yourself going around your latest video, talking about self-propelled harvesters getting bigger and bigger and bigger because all different types of reasons, heavier swarts, less manpower, people are looking to make bigger steps, and this is the bigger step that people need and have asked for.
But you were saying the driveline is rated for high horsepower.
Absolutely, she is rated for 500 horsepower on the PTO. So
she's what?
Yeah, 500 horsepower on the PTO. So.
All right.
But that's not to say
310 doesn't sound so big now.
No, and like that's not to say you need it. But if you have it, we can extract that power from your tractor if you want, so we can utilize whatever you have under the bonnet.
As far as your floor is concerned, your chains type of floor, is that coming from the same kind of pedigree, or is that all changed?
All changed. It's all gone on a total another level there, I have to say. We have a 13-ton square link chain, 13-ton braking force. It's a steel floor, which is a new concept for us because we wanted to utilize the wagon more for other areas of transportation, say wood chips, peat, these things. This machine and this floor can handle it. And she is really fast unloading. She has a unique system, a boost valve. It's made by an Austrian company, but it's able to give a signal to extract all oil flow from your tractor while unloading. So it's really fast to unload. It will take whatever pump you have and exploit it to the limit while unloading. It's fast to unload.
And it comes with, EBS and, for like better road safety, and your axles. I'm just looking across full commercial BPW. I think I can see the BPW on it. So like the running gear is top drawer.
Oh yeah, and it has to be. These tractors are getting faster, and to meet regulation, it's very difficult now across the continent. So yeah, absolutely, really highly spec'd axles, and yeah, it's a really nice machine to pull, I have to say, on such an axle.
Drivability for someone getting up into it that is coming from an older machine, is it similar to operate, or has that all been changed as well?
It's similar to operate. The principle is the same, you know. It gets a little bit maybe just to understand the headboard and how to set up the auto loading, but it's much more forgiving. I mean, the pickup it's so forgiving on lumps and corners and things maybe where people were getting a little bit stuck before. It's really forgiving, the pickup. And yeah, the navigation of the software, of course, has changed a little bit to allow the extra features, but I think for someone who has been around any wagon, it's very usable. It has the same interface like all Pottinger machines. It's fully isobus. We're using the John Deere screen here, and yeah, it's easy that way, I have to say.
Optional extra automatic sharpening.
Yes, and one in every 2 jumbos is sold with it. In Ireland and in Northern Ireland, there's some people who have it, but for some reason it's less of an option over here, but it is a big seller throughout the range. And I like the idea of keeping a constant sharpening of the blade. You just press the button in the cab and it does it within 2 minutes, and you know, you can do it completely throughout the day numerous times and have constant knives. But this has a new knife too over the last jumbo. It's double-sided, so if you didn't want a knife sharpener, it's no problem to take out the knife, turn it around and go again.
But it does make sense. I mean, you know, you're looking at your self-propels or whatever, the most guys are chopping a bit, giving it a wee quick run and carrying on again. So it's probably well worth it in the long run, but it's like everything else, every added option adds up.
Absolutely. I think anyone that's gone for the option is not sorry, but the step to take it is a big one. But yeah, the idea of keeping constant knives sharp, you know, for diesel usage, for chop quality, it's really a no-brainer, I guess.
Well, Paul, thank you very much for coming up. Delighted to pair it up to the 7310 for you. Hopefully the weather stays nice. I know it's not great over the next couple of days, but hopefully the weather stays nice and we get to see it in some grass and see if it is as good as you say it is. I'm sure it is. I know you're really passionate about it, and it's for me, it's always nice to see Pottinger Black here showing us what they do best, and for me, that is still grass equipment.
Absolutely, yeah. And like I say, I'm excited too. I'm not afraid now to try this out any way you want against any type of machine. We can really push on and really see what she's about now in the next few days.
Lovely.
So thank you.
Thank you, Paul.